is finally over, and in next week's episode of Naruto Shippuden, we are finally going to get back to the main canon storyline, and I think that's a good thing, because today's episode of Naruto Shippuden might have had some of the most wasted potential I have ever seen for a Naruto filler episode. I mean, just look at this setup. We have Fu, the Jinchuriki of the Seven Tails, and she has an encounter with Hidan and Kakuzu. Hidan and Kakuzu! This episode writes itself. This whole episode should have been a massive action scene of Fu fighting against these two and getting captured. You know what happens? They meet each other in the woods, they say hello, and that's the end of it. We don't even get to see them fight. We don't get to see a single punch thrown, a jutsu'd. We see nothing. This episode sucked. I'm not going to beat a horse to death, so let's just talk about some of the highlights of this week's episode. So the Chunin exams are over. In fact, they've officially been canceled by Gaara because he's decided that all of this weird political crap going on inside with everybody trying to assassinate him has sort of just thrown everything off kilter, so he's decided to leave it up to the respective Kages of everyone's village to decide which ninja are going to become Chunin. What this means is this entire arc has been a complete waste of time. And basically just a few confirmations. One, everybody from Konoha Village, aside from the other shitty ninja who failed the other exam, they don't get to become Chunin. And also, Neji ends up getting to become a Jonin because Neji's the frickin' shit. But we also gotta tie up some loose ends. There's that one chick who was working for Konon, who's eventually going to become the next Path of Pain. She gets promoted to a Chunin, she goes into a mission, and off-screen she is killed, and she becomes the next Path of Pain. We already knew that. They could have, again, done something a little bit more with this, and they didn't. That's pretty much it. The other thing that I didn't really like about this episode is the mixed messages that they're giving in the episode. Basically, Gaara gives this, like, huge power of friendship speech. Naruto is the ninja Jesus, and he just lets them go back to their respective villages. And then you have that one ninja terrorist by the name of Fugi, who was the guy who was trying to assassinate Gaara, and then Gaara basically talks him to death, talk no jutsu, and then he ends up committing suicide. So, the power of friendship. But if that don't work out, kill yourself. But the biggest disappointment to me was the arrival of Hidan and Kakuzu, who do nothing but stand around. This is such a waste. It's almost funny that they didn't do anything. And you know what? It's a shame because the scene started out real competent. I especially loved when they were running through the woods, giving me that classic Naruto feeling, and then suddenly coming out of the shadows were the two classic Akatsuki ninja. And Kakuzu's so awesome. He doesn't even need to say anything to be awesome. He just has such a great character design. And Fu has such balls for actually walking right up to Kakuzu and basically just saying, hey, maybe we can be friends. And then, well, Kakuzu's like, nah, I don't really do the whole friend thing. And then you're like, oh yeah, these next couple minutes are gonna be awesome! And then they just cut away from it, and they never go back to it. And since we're getting ready to go back to the canon storyline, we are never going to see this battle. This whole arc is a massive missed opportunity. This could have been something really special, and it's not to say that there weren't some entertaining episodes throughout the entire filler Chunin exam arc. Like, I really loved the episode of Shira versus Rock Lee. There was even a scene this week where Shira fought against Matsuri, and of course he completely whipped her ass. They were competing for the different scrolls, but they actually had the same scrolls. Ha ha ha, it's real funny. Not really. I just didn't dig this episode. So what's the rundown on this week's episode of Naruto Shippuden? I didn't like it, and that's a total shame, because Hidan and Kakuzu are two of the coolest members of the Akatsuki, and to bring them back and not use them and do something really cool with them, the same for Fu. Like, missed opportunity across the board. As far as her Jinchuriki abilities go throughout this arc, we saw her fly, and we saw her make cocoons. Why did we not see more from her? Why didn't we see some bijou bombs, or her transforming into this big nasty bug creature, like portions of her body turning into like insect parts and like weaponized and stuff? That would have been so awesome and creative and new and something that we've never seen before. Instead, we've been walking around in the desert for over 3 months! Ah! On the technical side of things, this week's episode did look okay for the most part. In fact, there were a few scenes that looked really good. The battle between Matsuri and Shira, as short as it was, looked nice. The artwork was good. And of course, the scene at the end with Fu and Hidan and Kakuzu, it looked like it was building up to something big, but it never really got there. Really, it's over. everybody's a Chunin, Neji's a Jonin, Naruto's gonna come back to the village, and none of this stuff matters because we're about to get back to the end of the series, which is going to conclude the rest of Naruto. So let's get excited for that. I think that's something we should get excited for because we are finally back to the end of the series and we might not have any more filler. I imagine there's no way they're going to insert any more filler arcs unless it's some sort of like one episode special of some sort, but this is it. This is it, guys. Let's get excited. So this week's episode, I didn't like it at all. I liked seeing Hidan and Kakuzu show up. That's about it. A few action scenes, a few small moments, a few parts like when the guy was standing outside in the desert and contemplating the fact that Gaara was like growing into a great leader. I thought that looked really nice and atmospheric, but aside from that, this was just sort of a piss-poor ending to a so-so filler arc, which could have been so much more. So I'm going to give this episode right here a 2 out of 5. Check it out, hardcore fans of Naruto. If you like the manga, if you've been following the anime, watch this episode. You might see something you like. You might like the episode more than me, and if you do, please tell me why in the comments section below. And tell me what else you'd like to see from the rest of the Naruto series, what you hope to see from the next episode, because remember, Naruto and Sasuke have been dead for quite some time, so let's just see what's going to happen next. Thank you guys for watching my review. Make sure to like it and share it with all of your friends. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and follow us on social media. Thank you guys again for watching, and as always, stay dandy, baby.